one of my favorite hikes here in Mudeungsan National Park in Gwangju, South Korea. So you guys can see the Mudeungsan National Park, and it's one of the newest parks. It was made a park in 2016, I believe. And you can see that in the parks here in Korea, they have a little gate, and this will close, and there'll be a message there if there's like a water warning or some danger or something. As you can see, some outstanding citizen has left a coffee cup there. But anyway, you can see some information here. It's in English and in Korean. And there's a security camera, of course. Everywhere you go in this country, you're on camera. So yeah, I'm just going to take you on this hike today. And I'll just do some talking. And if you're one of those people who doesn't like a lot of narration in the video, you probably won't like this one. But if you do like hearing about narration and about this national park, then stick with me and let's go. Come on. Alright, so right away you can hear some message talking about, oh, you need to wear a mask when you come up here. So anyway, yeah, this is a really fertile valley, and this is a short hike. It's not very long. It's about a half a mile, or about 1 kilometer, but it goes through some really cool old growth forest, and it always reminds me of kind of a Hawaii, some kind of very fertile coastal area. And yeah, this is the kind of area where I come for running and hiking, and you're always guaranteed to get some solitude and peace up here. And it just turned fall, so here you go. Look at this nice old tree. And I'm not a botanist, so biologist. I don't really know the types of trees. There's a lot of beautiful old trees like this one around, and there's a lot of trees in this area that are like 500 years old. Not a lot, but there's a few. And they're not very tall, but they're very stout. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this is always a nice hike for getting some solitude and getting away from the hustle and bustle of the city. And if any of you ever come to Asia or live in Asia or Japan or Korea, a lot of people get into trail running and hiking because you get some solitude, you know. And that's one of the main reasons I got into it when I moved over here. So yeah, so this is a nice flat little path leading up the valley, and I come run here, I come walk here, and I'm not the only one. And so there you go, you can get a view of one of the peaks. Maybe I'll take you guys up there sometime. That's called Saenbong Peak. And this is Mudeungsan is a national park, as I said, and the highest elevation is only 1,000 meters, a little over 1,000 meters, which is a little over 3,000 feet, which doesn't sound high, but keep in mind that raises from sea level. So a lot of mountains in the west, they're higher than that, but not the actual elevation game from the terra firma to the peak, right? But oh, here we go. I'm going to show you guys this. This is the warning of the wild pig. Be careful of the wild pig back here, it says. And I've seen a few of them myself. I think I've seen, let me think, one big male, a female, and I've seen 3 little piglets right in this valley. So yeah, there's a lot of wild pigs. So there's no real predators up here. But yeah, it's a great place to come and relax, and you know, I'm a big nature lover. I don't know how many of you are nature lovers. Probably if you're watching this video, you like nature and travel and things like that. So yeah, so it just became fall, which is great because for the last 5 months, this place has been swarming with insects, flies, mosquitoes, and hiking up here would be not very pleasant. So it just got colder in the evenings, and there's another big, nice old tree, which made it possible to come out here and hike around. You know, otherwise you need a net on your head. That's what we use in the warm months. We use a net over our head. Otherwise, oh, hey, how's it going, Mr. Wild Pigeon? Sorry, didn't mean to startle you. Yeah, there's a lot of animals back here. A lot of animals. In this little valley. I always try to be respectful. There's chipmunks. We've actually seen a couple marten up here, if you know what marten are. Not many people do. Marten is kind of a large ferret type creature. And it's actually, believe it or not, it's the alpha predator in South Korea. So in the past there were tigers, right? Big Siberian tigers were down here. And cougars and bear. But because of the population, the humans, they've all left, supposedly. But martens have been around, and we saw a couple martens actually not far from here. And they were tan color with black circles around their eyes. And they were really beautiful, and you could just tell, we saw a couple of them on the trail, and you could just tell that they were definitely the alpha creature of the forest. But yeah, there's all kinds of animals. There's little snakes, frogs, turkeys, a lot of turkeys. Big turkeys too. What else is there? Deer. I've seen a couple deer. Yeah, it's just a nice little path back here. In the summertime, it's full of water. This little stream down here really, really rages with water. And I'm sure it floods up on this path we're walking on now, too. All right. I'll be quiet for a minute so you can hear some of the wildlife. Some of the birds. And I've explored all over this mountain. And you can see people used to farm back here, right? This is a man-made wall, and I think there used to be some houses back here because I've found some pottery remnants and some remnants of some dishes and different things like that. But yeah, I've explored all over this mountain. I've been to the top, gone to all the different trails. Not all the different trails, but most of the different trails. And this is one of my favorite ones. Probably because it's kind of an easy hike, you know, and beautiful, and always make you feel more at peace out here. Which is so important in the modern world, I think. Oh, I got some birds. But like I said, it's such a nice time of year because the temperature finally came down and the humidity came down, which makes hiking and going into nature infinitely more pleasurable, as you can imagine. All right. And the trees are starting to lose some leaves already. All right, here's a little rest area up here, and these are all over Japan and Korea and the hiking trails. There's these little workout areas and rest areas. That branch broke about 6 months ago, and I haven't fixed it. But it's nice back here. All right, let's keep going up. Let's keep going. It's not too much farther. It's starting to get a little chilly. So we're coming into a little bamboo grove. You can see these little bamboos. Yeah, this is all bamboo on the left and right of the trail here. And yeah, like I said, there used to be, if you read the history of South Korea, I've read quite a few books. And in the late 1890s, there was a lot of missionaries that came here. I always recommend Elizabeth Bird. You can read about Elizabeth Bird. She was a Jesuit missionary. And she came to Seoul. Another one is Joseph Hubert, German guy. And they came to Seoul. And anyway, Elizabeth Bird traveled around the country. And then she was here, I think, for 7 years. And she wrote a book about it. And I think hers is called 13 Years Among the Top Knots. Because when she came, it was still the Joseon dynasty, which was the final dynastic period of Korea. And the men would wear their hair in top knots as soon as they got married. They'd stop cutting their hair and they'd have this ball on top of their head of hair. And so anyway, but she traveled all over the country. And at that time it was just one country. There was no North Korea or South Korea. And she talked about some village up north that was all surrounded by logs. And she asked the villagers why it was surrounded with logs. And they said, because of the tigers. There were so many tigers that would come attack at night and come haul off kids and dogs and livestock that they had to surround the village with logs. All right, so here we are. This is our final destination for this little hike, which is this little spring. And you can see somebody's stacked some rocks here. I think this is a Buddhist tradition. I'm not exactly sure. And then there's this little stream here that is fed from a little bit farther up. And let's see if we can see some animal tracks. I know the pigs come. I've seen pigs in this valley. Maybe I'll take you guys up just a tiny bit more. But here is kind of a crossroads. You can go up this way, which is basically straight up for about half a mile. I don't recommend it. Or you can go this way, which is up to Sangbong Peak, which is quite a bit better. But I'll take you guys up here, just up here, to where the spring comes out. And you can see how violent the waters are in the summer. It drags all this wood down and just fills up this whole valley. But I'm not going to hike up today because So I'm going on a long run tomorrow, so I need to save some strength, but maybe in a future video I'll take you guys up to the top of the mountain here. All right. Hope you enjoyed our little hike. Take care. Was going to end the video back there once I reached the end of the trail, but then I thought, you know what? We have the whole trail to go down, and that's the funnest part. So why not take everybody down the trail, right? We came up, now let's go down. But first off, I just want to point out something that always makes me so angry, which is garbage on the ground. I can't stand that, man. And unfortunately, I do see that a lot around here, people littering. So anyway, I'm about to hike back down, so let's go. The sun is setting. I just took a nice break here, chilled out, had some water and a little snack. And so let's go ahead and head back down the mountain. And you can see this beautiful sunset on one of my favorite trails. I was going to end the video, and then I thought, you know what? Why just end it on the labored part when I'm walking uphill and I can't talk very well. Let's give them a little taste of what it's like going down. It's always more fun to go down most of the time. So yeah, you can see the lights coming through the trees. It's really beautiful, and you can see the leaves on the ground. And one thing I love about Korean trails is how much they transform. So you know, every season is distinctly different. So in the summer, it's all overgrown and sorry, my phone's ringing. I'm just going to let it ring. And there's insects everywhere, and then the fall, it changes into these beautiful colors. Not so much here, but in the winter, all the leaves are off the tree, and it's like a totally different landscape, so it's really dynamic. I really like that about the landscape here. What else can I tell you about this place? So I found this by accident. I was training for a 50K trail race, which is about 35 miles. And I'd never done one before. It was 2016. And for anyone who's ran on the trail, oh, that's a nice shot. Look at that. For anyone who's ran on the trail before or hiked on a trail, you know how hard it is compared to walking or running on the flat surface. And so I started trying to find trails to run on because my friend convinced me to sign up for this 50K trail race in Gangwon-do in Pyeongchang, which is where they had the 2018 Winter Olympics. And so I signed up for this race, and I started researching trails in this area, and I came across this trail in this mountain, and I started running up here. And for anyone who's ever done any trail running, you know how hard it is compared to regular running, but it's also rewarding because you get all kinds of cool sights and sounds, and you get to see animals, and the air is clean, and can also be dangerous. So you gotta be careful, especially in America. There's bears and mountain lions and stuff, so you want to watch out. But anyway, safety first when you're outside. But yeah, so that's when I first discovered these trails, is sometime around 2016. And I've been coming up here ever since. So look at that huge boulder. And at the top of the mountain, there's these rock formations, these pillar-type formations, totally naturally occurring in there in these perfect rectangles. And they're very, very abnormal, and they're actually on the UNESCO World Heritage Site list. So if you ever come to Gwangju in Korea, and you come to Mudeung National Park and you go to the top, you can see some UNESCO World Heritage Site rectangles of granite. I think they're granite. Maybe they're not granite. There's some other similar to granite. But in all honesty, they're not that impressive. But to me, they're kind of cool. But it's nothing like, maybe Niagara Falls or anything. But it's pretty good. But anyway, the mountain itself is very beautiful and unique. And so I do recommend. Anyway, I guess I want to say that the columns are not the best part of this mountain, I don't think. I think there's a lot more beautiful aspects of it. But, yeah. And actually, we had a last winter, on the last day of the year, it was December 31st, there was a big snowstorm here. Very rare. Because Gwangju is so far south, it's about the 34th parallel latitude, or is it longitude? I think it's latitude. Is it latitude? Yeah, latitude. And which is about the latitude of LA or Albuquerque or Busan, which is right over the mountain. And so it doesn't snow that much down here. It's pretty far south. But anyway, December 31st, 2020, last day of the year. 2020 was such a messed up year for everyone in the world, pretty much, except for tech company owners. They did pretty well, but even for them, it was bad. And yeah, so we got this really nice snow, and we came running up here in the snow, and it was just such a good memory. I'll always remember that. Pretty cool. Another thing to mention is how deathly afraid the Koreans are of wild pigs. And I'm afraid of them too, but I don't fear them. I'm not going to not go into the forest because of them. But a lot of the Koreans are deathly afraid of wild pigs. And I remember I saw this huge boar up on the mountain, and he was big. He was at least 100 kilograms, 200 pounds, massive, 4 feet long, probably standing 3 feet high, big pig with tusks and everything. And I told this to this Korean man I know, and he's a medical doctor, and his English is really good, and so you can see that man-made retaining wall there. That's how you know this was all farmed in the past. A lot of archaeology going on here. I never see anyone doing any archaeology, but if you wanted to, this would be a paradise of archaeologists and anthropologists. But anyway, and I told him, I said, I saw this big boar on the mountain. And he said, oh, no, I don't think so. He said, maybe it was a dog. I said, oh, no, it was a wild pig. And he insisted that if I had seen a wild pig, it would have attacked me. So it's kind of a bias against wild pigs. Anyway, let me stop talking for a minute and let you just take in the nice sounds and sights of this place. Well, we're almost to the end of the trail here. We're gonna get back to where there's people, but you could see all the different animals and birds, especially. And yeah, I'm happy I got to share that trail with you. That's one of my favorite trails. So, if you ever come to Mudeungsan National Park in Gwangju, South Korea, I can't imagine that you would, but if you move here or live here, I definitely recommend finding your way to Mudeungsan National Park and also the Healing Forest and then this secret special trail. We'll see if you can find it. I don't even think this trail has a name, but it goes up to Sainbong Peak, and there's only 3 trails that go there, so you can find it. All right, catch you later. Bye.